Most carbon wireless road bikes, they usually cost over 3,500 euros. And that is just the starting point. But I put together this bike on a budget with reliable parts that punch way above their weight. So stick around because I'll be breaking down every single component and I'll reveal the exact total cost at the end. Let's start with the frame and the integrated handlebar, the Hygge Model S. It's full carbon, lightweight and aerodynamic. This frame was made with EPS molding, which gives it a smooth finish with a strong strength to weight ratio. The size of the frame is small, which is paired with a 90mm stem and 400mm wide integrated handlebar. So the frame, the handlebar, the fork and the seat post came at a total cost of 668. All of them I got it from AliExpress. Now let's talk about the Groupset, the heart of any bike build. I chose the Wheeltop EDS-TX, which is a fully wireless Groupset. Fully wireless also means less cables and easier setup. The Groupset comes with the shifters, the front and rear derailleurs as well as the brake calipers. Yeah, so you could actually buy this from AliExpress, but I bought the Groupset from the official Wheeltop store to ensure authenticity as well as future warranty support. It cost me 639 euros, which fits well within my budget for a fully wireless electronic Groupset. If you tried this wireless Groupset before or if you have any questions, put it down in the comment below. And I would love to hear your experience trying out budget or affordable wireless Groupset. The crankset is from a brand called Synix and the model is PR3. The crankset is made of aluminum with 165mm crank arms and 34 to 50 teeth chain rings. This time I opted for 165mm compared to the usual 170mm just to try how the rides feels like. And I heard Tadej Pogacar has been using the 165mm crank arm and he won Tour de France last year. So maybe with this crank arm I could win something in life too. Well, jokes aside, what is your experience with shorter crank arm? Let me know in the comments below. As for the bottom bracket, it is from a brand called Bucknose. The model is MH530. It's a BSA threaded bottom bracket fit for 68 to 73mm bottom bracket shell and it is made of aluminium alloy. The pedals is also from Bucknose. It's a SPD pedals. The reason why I got SPD pedals because I also have the same setup on my gravel bike and at this point of time I didn't want to invest in any road pedals or road shoes. The chain is 12 speed and it is from a brand called KMC. And now talking about the price, the crankset itself is 47 euros. The bottom bracket is 7 euros. The pedals cost me around 19 euros. And last but not least, the chain 33 euros. Altogether, these parts adds up to 96 euros. Next up, the wheel set and the tires. Arguably the most important part for ride feel and performance. I chose the Elite Wheels ENT 2.0 carbon wheel set. The wheels are 50mm deep and 28mm wide, which I personally feel a good balance between performance and comfort. And in case you're wondering, this is how the free hub sounds like. And I got this carbon wheel set at an amazing price of 362 euros. The cassette is a 12-speed cassette from a brand called ZTTO. On the smallest cock of the cassette, it has 11 teeth, and on the biggest cock of the cassette, it has 34 teeth. As for the tires, I chose the Continental GP 5000 as I've heard a lot of good reviews about these tires on the internet. But just a heads up, mounting these tires on the wheels is such a pain in the butt. So unless your technique is really good or you have strong fingers, then I would advise you to be very patient. For braking, it uses the Z race rotors and it's 160mm on the front and 140mm on the rear. Inside the tires are these TPU inner tubes from Right Now, which I'm a big fan of because it's very light and easy to carry around. So the front and the rear tires cost me 90 euros. The cassette was 26 euros. The tube, two of them, was 11 euros, and the rotors was 5 euros each. And in total, it's 499 euros. Aside from the tires, which I bought from Amazon, the rest of them comes from AliExpress. For the finishing touch, I went with the Bucklo's Bartape. They looks pretty great, like the Supercas Bartape. It also feels comfortable and is very budget friendly at just 7 euros. And the saddle of choice is the Riyadh Carbon Eva saddle. Very lightweight and designed for comfort at just 25 euros. Plus, I added the Cyclami bike mount from AliExpress, which cost me just 11 euros. All the small details, I personally feel that it makes a lot of difference during a long bike ride, such as the comfy bar tape, lightweight saddle, reliable bike mount. Alright, so let's do a quick recap on the cost. The frame, which includes the handlebar and the seat post as well as the fork, came to 668 euros. The fully wireless Groupset was 639 euros. The crankset, chain, bottom bracket and pedals, 96 euros. Wheel set, tires, tubes and cassette, 499 euros. And lastly, the finishing touch, Bartape saddle and bike computer mount, 43 euros. And altogether brings us to a total cost of 1,945 euros. So this proves that you actually don't need to break the bank to get a carbon bike with full wireless electronic shifting. And if you want to save even more money, switching to a mechanical group set could probably cut the cost around 300 to 400 euros depending on the brand. But is it actually a good deal? Absolutely. For me personally, for less than 2,000 euros you're getting an aero carbon frame, EPS mold, fully wireless electronic shifting as well as carbon wheel set. To give you a bit of a comparison, my Orbea gravel bike, which I bought 2 years ago, was 1,800 euros and it is aluminum with mechanical shifting. With that said, there are still some trade-offs that you should consider. Buying budget parts can sometimes mean limited customer support or warranty, which is why it is very important to do some research and buy all these parts from an established Chinese brand or reputable store with good reviews. And of course, a big unknown is also the longevity. Will this bike last a few seasons, maybe 3, maybe 4 years? That is something only time will tell. But with proper care and maintenance, I can't see why you wouldn't go that distance. Anyway, if you're planning your own bike build or you're just curious about affordable options, I hope this video gives you some good ideas. And if you have any questions, thoughts, feel free to drop them in the comment below. If you also enjoyed this video, I really do appreciate some thumbs up. If you're into cycling content or fitness content in general, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so that you don't miss out on future videos. So thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I really hope to see you guys again in the next one. Ride safe and see you.